Hello, everyone. Hope everyone is doing well. Hope everyone's spring slash summer is starting off well. I am, you know, hanging in there. I'm excited. This weekend, I'm going to see the musical Beetlejuice, and I feel like it's going to be good. Excited about that. I have no other plans for Memorial Day though. So, besides work, of course. Work. But yeah, I'm gonna check my calendar real quick because I'm contemplating. Okay, let's see. No, that's not what I want. Because next month, as you may or may not know, is Music Month. Is Black Music Month. Okay, so then the next Friday is the start of Black Music Month, and Dorothy's on the. So I'm definitely gonna do something Black music related, and I wanted to talk about this topic, another genre of music. Like I feel like I haven't talked about it in a while. I feel like I did horrorcore like a few months ago, but I was like, yeah, let's do another genre. So we're gonna talk about the national music of DC, which is go-go, and its rich history. I'm gonna try my hardest to like not read everything word for word. I'm gonna try to give like a summation because I had a lot of notes and I had to cut a lot out. But of course, there is plenty of resources. There are videos, books, a lots of stuff on GoGo. So if you want more in depth than I give here, you can always research it yourself. And got my Black History Month shirt on for talking about black music. So here we are. So the godfather of go-go is Chuck Brown. He was born Charles Lewis Brown, August 22nd, 1936, and he passed away May 16th, 2012. He's an American guitarist, bandleader. And it says here go-go is a subgenre of funk music developed around the DC area in the mid-1970s. While its classification, influences, and origins are debated, Brown is regarded as the fundamental force behind the creation of go-go. So, that's a little bit about him. I always do like a biography video, but I felt like I would do a song review, which I need to upload here. So I'm also gonna briefly talk about it here. But "Bustin' Loose" by Chuck Brown and the Soul Searchers was the first go-go hit. It was number one on the R&B charts for like a month in 1978. So that was a big thing for go-go. So we're going to go into the history a little bit. Go-go is a subgenre of funk music with emphasis on specific rhythmic patterns, and live audience call and response. Like I said, it was originated in DC. Now this one says mid 60s to late 70s. It has a devoted audience in Washington, D.C., of course, or the Washington metropolitan area, the DMV, which I'm from. I was born in D.C., raised in Virginia, still live there. And it was named the official music of Washington, D.C. in February 2020, which makes sense. Performers associated with the development of the style include Rare Essence, EU, Treble Funk, and singer-guitarist Chuck Brown, of course. Modern artists like Charles Shorty Corleone Garris continue the go-go tradition in DC. I hope I said his name right. So it's characterized by 4 syncopatic rhythm. It says 5 through 4 syncopated. If I could speak today. Basically, it has bass drums, snare drums, and hi-hats with percussion instruments, especially congos, rototones, and handbell cows, which if you listen to it, definitely what it sounds like. And this is like more musical, like specific things that I don't really know about. But this is all from Wikipedia. So if you want to dive more into it, if you're more musically inclined than I am and know how to actually say these terms, you can look it up. So of course, Chuck Brown is known as the godfather of go-go, and like I said, they say like the origins are kind of murky and can't really link to one person, but he's very influential. They say artists such as Marvin Gaye, Van McCoy, Billy Stewart, Sweets and Herb, Black Heat, Experience Unlimited EU, Vernon Burt, Sir John Quarterman, and the Free Soul, the Moment, Ray, Good Man and Brown, True Reflection, The Unifix, Terry Huff, and Special Delivery. Golly. Okay, there's a lot. Basically, they all played a role in like the pre-go-go era. And the term comes from, apparently it's a French term. It was named after the British comedy Whiskey Galore. The club would have go-go dancers. So, it was named after Whiskey Go-Go nightclub. So then, the Whiskey A Go-Go Club was in Los Angeles, and the term spread nationwide. So basically, it was for a music club. I'm trying to see how I got to DC. And then in DC, the minor group Warnell Jones and the Junior Senators were formed in 1965, and they became a fierce competition with Chuck Brown and Black Heat on the local club circuit. The Young Senators later became known for their song Jungle. Yeah, so those were like the beginnings of the origins of go-go. And of course, like I said, Bustin' Loose was the first go-go hit, which they talk about here. And then EU came. They were actually named after the Jimi Hendrix Experience. That's what they got the name Experience Unlimited. Yeah. And then Curse Blow's Party Time. I think they were on the song. Put them on the map, later tracked down by Grace Jones to take the King of Go-Go production, Max Kidd. So like, then they made their hit. EU made their hit Debut, which was for the School Day soundtrack by Spike Lee, and that was a huge go-go hit as well. So I'm gonna skip some of these, but yeah. So we're gonna go to so I skipped like the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, which they go into very specific like things about each, all the different artists and all of their influences and everything. Like I said, it's on Wikipedia. Very readily available. Sorry if I'm skipping a lot. It's a lot of information, and I'm trying not to read verbatim. So I'm going to talk about the 2010s and 2020s in go-go. So in the late 2000s and early 2010s, it became harder for go-go bands and local venues to hold concerts. Law enforcement in both Washington, D.C. and neighboring Prince George's County in Maryland view concerts and bands as insiders of violence. I wonder why. And new go-go music is still being produced, but remains local to the area, and depending on live shows to share its full effects. However, most of the venues have closed, unfortunately, with some residents putting it down to gentrification, which has also forced many African American residents out of their previously low-income neighborhoods. One area in Shaw, which was 11% white in 1970, was 62% white in 2015. So the gentrifiers come over here and try and tell us what to do, like always. Some new residents, however, have embraced go-go, and locals are optimistic that it will continue to thrive. After one new resident's complaint about the noise in the street, there were protests which grew into a block party with go-go performances, which I remember that. I think they talk about it in the next one, so I'm not going to talk about it too much. But, okay, now we're going to go to the 2020s. In February 2020, go-go was named the official music of DC. That's what I told that. And following the Don't Mute DC movement, which was because of the complaints. So they were like, you're complaining about our music. This is our culture. So don't mute DC was the movement. And, that was the result of the complaint. They went out, they had the block parties. They were playing the go-go music. They were showing, this is our culture here. And you can't come from somewhere else and try to change the people that are already here. And the culture that is already here, which gentrifiers do all of the time. I'm going to rant about that. But go-go historians and local activists have advocated for the city to invest in go-go tourism as a result of the financial challenges due to the COVID-19 pandemic. And this is a quote. In Washington, D.C., the Black Lives Matter protests over the summer of 2020 often included go-go bands performing on truck beds as highly visible and aerial political symbol that could only happen in the capital of the United States. So they don't say who said that quote, but that's a quote. But I agree with that. When you protest, you're protesting for all of you, including your identity, your music, your interest, everything. So on August 22nd, 2021, it was announced the DC Public Library's Go-Go Archive had acquired the photography catalog of 1,956 photographic images shot by photographer Chip P., who spent 10 years photographing the DC go-go scene and was one of Chuck Brown's photographers for the archival and documented history of go-go. So he released the book on Valentine's Day 2022, DC Go-Go, 10 Years Backstage. It is a 208-page book that features 251 of P's I hope I'm saying his last name right. P's photographs of all the bands and legends and fans shot at Go-Go, as well as 9 chapters about the origin, the culture, the legends, the bands, the culture, Don't Mute DC, and how Go-Go became the official music of DC. I have to get that book. That sounds so interesting. So that is the history of go-go. Of course, like I said, I left out a lot, but I feel like that's a good summation, for now. And now I'm going to review my top 10 go-go songs. Some of these, now, number one is number one, but everything else is not really in any particular order. But number one is the Overnight Scenario. Super by Rare Essence Band. I don't know if they're called band or if they're just Rare Essence, but I'm going to say Rare Essence. I always loved how this song points to a literal scenario, like he's saying everything, like from what they did with the club at 10 p.m. I forgot what time they started. I should know. This is my favorite go-go song. I think it was, I want to say it was 4, it was 3 in the morning. They started 3 in the morning, the Pancake House. 4 in the morning, she'll be rolling to my house. 5, I forgot what was happening. 5 in the morning, and we just got home. I think 6, you can hear her start to shout. So he's like going through all this until like 9 a.m. And I was watching a TikTok and somebody was talking about the song. They were like, how did it take her from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. to get home? Like, where does she live in the DMV area? Which I will say, we have horrible traffic, so it kind of would make sense. But it's so lively and funky, and you get the spirit of like how this one night stand went. And even though I'm not a fan of like men bragging about sex all the time, I still think this is a classic. I love it. It's just so lively, and you're like, okay, you did this, you did that. You're going through the whole scenario, literally. And I feel like it's just so fun. Okay, so now number 2. Another Rare Essence song, Pieces of Me. I love how this cover gives a new life to the song. And the main singer sounds so great, and the music gives it a whole like island feel taking Ashley Simpson to the island. Um, and it still gives off the lovey-dovey vibes of the original, but it makes the song their own. I love that. Oh, I'm gonna tell you right now. I don't know if I can link my own link, but I have a playlist with all of these songs on it. It's called Go Go Music. I might add to it at some point, but all these songs are on the playlist. So if you want to go and listen to them, you can go listen to them. Since I don't know how to edit music clips in here, I might also get copyrighted if I tried. But I know you can do like a little bit. But once I figure that out, I would still make the playlist so you could listen to the whole song. Because some of these songs are like 10 minutes long. So you're not gonna get the full effect from like a little clip. But yeah, I have that playlist. And the number 3 is Fatty by CCB. They're called Critical Condition Band, if I could speak today. The song is so lively and electric. And this is a good song not only to dance to, but represent where you're from, because they do talk about, oh, whoops, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Here we go. This song is so cute and fun to me. It's also nostalgic to me because I remember listening to this song all the time as a teenager. And it really makes you want to shake your fatty when you hear it, lol. Certified hood classic, lol, even though I'm not from the hood. As you may or may not know, I am not a very suburban girl, but nothing wrong with that. But yeah, I love that song. It's just so cute. You're like, you're my fatty, look at my fatty. Yeah, and it's real funky. It's very twerkable. I will say that. If you like to twerk, do it to CCB. Fatty. Okay, number 4, Roll Call, also by CCB. Song so lively and electric. Like I was saying, it's not only a good song to dance to, which represent where you're from, because they do say if you're from different parts of DC, like, like a call and response, like they always do. Okay, I just talked about the call and response. So yeah, Roll Call is very, very cool song. Number 5, One Leg Up by Pure Elegance. It's an absolute classic go-go song. It's 10 minutes long. It's 10 minutes of fun and trying to figure out how in the world you do this dance, how this dance is possible, lol. Maybe I'm not a twerker. I don't know how you put your one leg up and put your booty on the floor. You have to have great balance, I guess. I did put in my notes, I need to watch a tutorial about this because I have no idea how that even works. But I'm sure there's some expert twerker who knows what they're talking about. But I still love this song. Number 6, Sick of Being Lonely, which is another cover by Backyard Band. And it's made to its own unique song. And I love the original song, so the cover just improves on it. Also, whoever these bands have singing these covers be singing their hearts out. LOL. They are really great on these covers. They really be singing from the soul. It's really great. Number 7, Sexy Lady UCB. What is it? I just looked at it. I just looked at what that meant. I think it's unlimited something. Hold on. I just looked at this to see what they meant. I looked at it last night and I was like, I'm going to remember this. Clearly, I did not remember this. Okay, uncalled for band. There we go. I looked at that last night, and it's 4, the number 4. So this is also, I totally forgot about this song until I was like researching, but this is also a classic. Like, I love it. It's so smooth and funky. If a man dedicated the song to me, he would definitely get the panties. LOL. Cause yeah, you calling somebody a sexy lady? Hey, sexy lady. Yeah, I'd be into it. Number 8, Debut, of course, EU. Of course, one of the greatest go-go songs of all time. So of course I'd include it. Funky, danceable. They have a dance for it. If you watch the video, you can do the dance. So that's good. That's always good to have a hit and a dance. I feel like it's probably the most mainstream go-go song. I don't have any evidence. I tried to Google it, But I'm gonna just wing it and say it's probably the most recognizable, most famous go-go song. Nine Go-Go Swing by Chuck Brown and the Soul Searchers. The song definitely embodies everything that makes go-go go-go. Has the call and responses, heavy drums and percussions. And I say, if you could only listen to one go-go song that embodies the genre, this would be the perfect example. And number 10, which I'm going to upload my song review of it, Bustin' Loose, the first chart-topping go-go hit, pioneered the genre into the mainstream. So, of course, I had to include it. And I wrote a poem, and it's called What Go-Go Means to Me. It is the heart of the capital of our country. It is the lively history of a city. It is the culture of community. It is the heritage of our people. It is not a nuisance. It is not just noise. It is not just chaos. It is not just clutter. It is an art form like all music. It is an art form like any painting. It is an art form like any sculpture. It is an art form like all performances. Just because you come in from elsewhere doesn't mean you get to drive out what makes this city special. You come in and want to change the surroundings. You come in and want to change the people. You come in and want to change the culture. You come in and want to change everything. The city isn't yours to discover like Columbus. It has its own identity. You should find one of your own. Like I said, I can go into a whole rant about gentrifiers and coming in here and any other really black populated place, or was once populated by black people, and trying to change everything. And you know, the culture is the culture. And you want to come and be, and instead of being a part of the culture, you want to come in and change everything and drive it out. And I don't like that. But I'm not going to go too deep into that. But yeah, if you like go-go, check out my playlist. If you never heard of go-go in your life, check out my playlist. Once you check out my playlist, tell me if you like go-go now that you know what it is. If you are a DC native or a DMV native, what do you think about go-go? If you want to share, like the video, whatever you want to do. Yeah, all my DMV people, you know, how do you feel about go-go? Is it your thing? Is it not your thing? But do you still respect it as a part of the DC culture? Let me know if you want in the comments. But yeah, next month, Black Music Month. Oh, also, I want to just say rest in peace to Tina Turner, the queen of rock and roll. Absolute legend, of course. And she's one of my favorite singers. So yeah, just wanted to add that at the end. And I will see you all next month for Black Music Month.